Okay, so hi Chuck, I'm Nick Booth. We've met.
Yes.
I don't think you can see me though, unfortunately, but I'd like to introduce Chuck Friedman, who's from the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, who's going to give us an update on MCBK in the USA. So over to you, Chuck.
Thank you very much. I just have to bring my slides up again. You can give me 1 second here. I apologize. I had to shut something down. Here we go. Okay, can you see my slides okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's truly a pleasure to be here. I wish I could be there in person, but unfortunately my schedule would not allow that. I'm delighted that you're having this meeting, and I know it will be a great success. I'm very quickly going to introduce you to some of the activities that have been going on in what I guess I will call MCBK US. And what you see on the first slide is an overview of everything we're doing. There's a picture of my co-chair, Richardson from Duke University, and I somehow thought you were going to see me on a live camera, so I didn't put in a picture of myself, but if you had a choice between Rachel and me, I'm sure you'd rather.
Well, we can see you, Chuck, in the bottom right hand of our screen.
Yeah. Well, then you know the truth of what I'm saying. Okay, so I will point out that MCBK is a grassroots movement to mobilize computable biomedical knowledge. We are loosely organized with an interim home at the University of Michigan and a steering committee of about 15 people. That includes Deepak Kalra. Is Deepak in the room?
Yes, Chuck, hi.
Yes,
Hi.
we did.
So we have a connection to the steering committee in the room. Our mission and vision are guided by a manifesto which was developed through a consensus process culminating at our first open meeting in 2018. We have a website that I encourage you to visit. The bottom of the slide shows the evolution of the organization. We had an invitational organizing meeting that I think several people in the room attended in Ann Arbor in 2017. Now had 2 annual open meetings on the National Institutes of Health campus. We've evolved 4 workgroups that I'll talk about in a moment. We have a range of web resources on our website. We have held a series of webinars, and we are spawning what we consider to be a number of national and global collaboration. And now my slides won't advance. There we go. Okay, this is a quick vision of our manifesto. I encourage you to read it. It's on the website, and it basically outlines what the MCBK movement, as it is evolved itself in the U.S., is seeking to accomplish, and some of the values that it is bringing to that activity. I'm going to focus this morning on our second public meeting, which took place in the Natural Conference Center at the NIH in this past July. We're delighted to have just over 160 participants. There you see a picture of beautiful Nature Center, which is the main conference center at the NIH. We have 6 goals for this meeting: to strengthen a shared recognition of what MCBK is all about. We want to bring exactly what we're trying to accomplish into clear vision. We hope, and this hope is realized, that the work groups would advance the action plan via their meetings in Washington. We hope to further clarify our priorities, plan next steps, and of course, just by virtue of having the meeting, to grow the community. The program had many components to it. We had a really excellent presentation by Patty Brennan, who is the director of the National Library of Medicine, also by Don Rucker, who is the current national coordinator for health IT in our Department of Health and Human Services. And then we were thrilled that Deepak joined us and also gave us an excellent presentation as part of the plenary sessions. We had several panels on use cases for mobilizing knowledge, and I'll return to that one in a second. We talked in plenary panels about engaging critical stakeholders, and at the very end, we had some very thoughtful reflections on the entire meeting from three excellent presenters. The session also included 17 technical demonstrations. This was up from 4 the previous year, so we were delighted to see that, and 24 contributed students. The breakout session included a total of about 3.5 hours of workgroup meetings. We opened the floor for comment from anybody for open mic, and we had, after the first day of the meeting in the evening, a truly excellent reception that was very well attended, and I think on through. I want to call particular attention to the use case panel. This really succeeded, I believe, in illustrating that while for most of us in informatics, the default use case for computable knowledge is a clinical use case focused on clinical decision support. We wanted to make it clear, and I think we succeeded in doing that through the panel, that really the applicability of computable knowledge transcends clinical and decision support applications to include public health, research, and education. And our 4 panelists together established that point. This panel was so successful that we're rerunning it as a webinar on November 12th. And I would really encourage those of you who are interested in being exposed, if you haven't been already, to the breadth of application of computable knowledge, that you dive into this panel, which will be at noon on US Eastern time on November 12th or 5 o'clock your time. Very quick, I'm not going to run through these. Listing of our 17 technical demos. We were thrilled to have John Fox at the meeting demonstrating Open Clinical among the several demonstrations that took place. I'll call now attention to the 4 work groups that have been meeting through the year, but had very focused sessions at get together in July. Our standards panel, our standards work group, is co-chaired by Bob Greenis, probably well known to most, if not all of you, from Arizona State University, and Bruce Gray, also probably well known to all of you from the University of Utah. They have been very active in the standards space in informatics for many decades. And they are driving forward the standards work group. We are really trying now, as outgrowth of the meet last July, to focus each work group on 1 or 2 key deliverables, and that's what you'll see illustrated on these slides. And they go forward from the meeting in July, and have been going forward from the meeting in July to develop these deliverables. I think job 1, and many people agree that job 1 for the standards group is to come up with an initial set of metadata axes and dimensions as first step toward advancing some specific metadata standards for different types of computable biomedical knowledge. And of course, they foresee the need for harmonization and coordination of standards with others that are out there. We have a work group focused on technical infrastructure. This is co-chaired by Chris Schaefer, who runs the medical library at the University of California, San Francisco. Leslie McIntosh, who was the co-chair of the Research Data Alliance. They are focused on producing a position paper that will advance key technical principles relating to CBK infrastructure, and they will include examples and use cases in this position paper. Let me make a side comment here that I, and I believe many others, believe there's a big role in advancing computable biomedical knowledge for biomedical librarians. We're delighted that Chris Schaefer and as you'll see in a couple of slides, Jerry Perry from the University of Arizona are taking very active leadership roles in this. Both of them are very prominent members in the US of the biomedical library community. We have a third work group on policy and coordination. Blackford Middleton from Aprovita and Free Platt from my university are co-chairing this work group. They are focused, as the slide says, on gaps, policy and issues that would impact the quality of computable biomedical knowledge, and they are particularly focused on what makes biomedical knowledge trustworthy. This, of course, connects them profoundly to the standards work group because it's clear that the metadata around digital knowledge objects containing computable knowledge must include that information, which will help make the computable artifacts trustworthy. So this group is advancing what they're called the landscape analysis, relating to governance strategies, culture, and market considerations as part of their exploration. The fourth work group, last but not least, is sustainability for mobilization and inclusion. This is co-chaired by Jerry Perry, the library director at University of Arizona, and Chris Nimick from our Federal Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. Particularly delighted to have Chris involved and effectively bringing a government agency into this. They're very concerned for how MCBK relates to other entities that, and many of them exist, that share interest in mobilizing computable biomedical knowledge. And what they did to 2019 meeting was very practical and useful. They actually brought in representatives from 4 specific organizations and focused meeting interactions with representatives of these 4 organizations about how MCBK should interact with them. So upcoming, I'm coming to a close here. We're having, as I mentioned, our use case webinar on November 12th at 5 p.m. your time. The work groups are continuing to meet, working with energy for the deliverables that I described. We're beginning already to plan our 3rd annual open meeting for next year. We have tentative dates of 30th and July 1st, also at the NIH, and I hope to see many of you there. By virtue of my being on this meeting virtually, I hope you all recognize we are very keen on global relationships. We are continuing to work with DPAC in a variety of ways through his Innovation Institute, and we, of course, are pursuing many lines of relations with our colleagues in UK and others around the world. Finally, well, almost finally, everything I've talked about today, including a complete video of the July meeting, is available at mobilizecbk.org. And my final slide is shameless self-promotion. This is the journal, Learning Health Systems, and I am hoping will, over time, be the official journal of MCBK. There's a guest editorial by myself and Alan Clinton in the latest issue about this, and the report, a written report of the meeting. We hope will be published in the journal soon. Relating to this, we are getting published computable knowledge. We believe first medical journal published peer-reviewed computable knowledge, and we're going to see how that rolls out. The journal is open source and is now widely indexed. The whole website is HL7 I hope I didn't exceed my time. That brings my remarks close. Hope you found them helpful, and I hope there's time for questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. So thanks, Chuck. That was bang on time. I think we've got time for one question. So, could you introduce yourself first?
Hi, Hugh Glover, Blue Wave Informatics, but also HL7 R&R. You didn't mention anything about clinical translational science and some of the schemes that were running in the US, which the last meeting I was in seemed to be playing in the same pool. So I wonder, can you just clarify that, please?
Clinical and translational science?
Yeah.
Yes. So that is a big focus or a big reason why we had the use case panel. We wanted to make it clear the full range of applicability, and there was a research presentation in the use case panel that will be repeated again on November 12th. So I recognize that we have not fully played out. The use case panel was a start. The full range of applicability of computable knowledge. I was actually at the University of California Clinical and Translational Science Award, CTSA Award, 5-institution meeting just a couple of weeks ago, presenting on this topic, and it's very clear from that the clinical translational research community in the U.S. is extremely interested in the concept of computable knowledge. So it's not for lack of recognition of the applicability of computable knowledge, clinical translational research. We're certainly aware of computable phenotypes and others as sort of immediately obvious applications of computable knowledge, and the need to mobilize it for activation and application in the world. So thank you for emphasizing that. I think it really brings out a key important point that this isn't just about clinical decision support. It's about all four of those domains, including the full range of research from T0 to T4 as far as we're concerned. And really do have to make that message more clear and better emphasized than we have in the past. Thanks again for that question.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Chuck, for a really insightful talk. And unfortunately, we're going to have to move on because we've got a really crammed program at this end, but we really appreciate your contribution, and thanks once again.
Thank you, and I'm delighted to have had a chance to be part of this meeting.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.